ebenfalls zurück auf der Bühne begrüßen wir den Referee für die nächsten beiden Spiele, den Calculator, Mr. Kirk Bevins.
Well, we have a lineup of quarter-finalists from the top half of the draw, and now we concentrate on the bottom half. So it will be MVG versus Gerwin Price, and it will be Mensah Suljovic versus James Wade. Well, if that doesn't get the old taste buds going, I'm not sure what will, but how about we add to that? Let's see who will be playing either Rob Cross or Johnny Clayton. That game is next, but this one here sees a rejuvenated Pipe against Darren Webster, who is one of the few seeds that hasn't won a European Tour title yet. And I say yet because he's still hungry, still eager, and still has the talent. And someone who still has the talent and the eagerness and the hunger is Mervyn King, who joins me now.
Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Very, very well. Looking forward to seeing how Darren Webster handles this challenge. Yesterday against the tournament debutant Pavel Yerkel of the Czech Republic, he survives that test. How will he survive the test of Pipe, which is never easy?
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg, it's Justin to throw first.
It never is against Justin. Justin's one of those very, very methodical players. He takes his time in everything he does throughout the game, and it's never easy to play against.
I was going to say, is methodical a nice way of saying that he's slow?
If that's the way you'd like to read into it, Paul, so be it.
I'll tell you one thing that hasn't been slow this week with Justin are the walk-ons, because the previous two, when he played against Ryan Meikle, which was the very first game of the tournament, and against Ian White yesterday afternoon, which we'll talk about in just a second, he walked straight down, really focused. He has had a lot on his mind, obviously, and I think darts has provided him with an escape in the last few weeks. And sometimes you do tend to find that people play really well when they need something to escape from. But JP yesterday, finishing that game with Ian White with a couple of ton-plus checkouts, both of them on double 16, just goes to show that he has still got the amount of talent that he showed us back in 2011, 2012, when he was picking up regular titles.
Yeah. I think there's a, a slight difference with Darren as well. I believe Darren has gone back to work. He's not full-time anymore. And I believe that he is a better player when he actually goes to work and doesn't practice all those hours during the day. He seems to find, I don't know what it is, but he goes to work during the day and practices 2 or 3 hours at night time, and he seems to be a better player for it.
I think it's a really good point to get in the next leg, because we can think of different examples as Webster bangs in a max, just in case Pipe stutters on this double 18. You can see plenty of that to the left. You can see all of double 9. Excellent dart from Justin Pipe when the question was asked. After a couple of misses, he's up to switching across the board. But Merv, that's a great thing to talk about, because yes, this is a professional sport, but there are people who come from a previous generation who are used to working and playing darts. A lot of the younger players coming through now, the Luke Humphreys, the Aaron Monks, you know, these young lads who are very successful, they've never known a time as Pipe. Here's the cry of 180 from Kirk Bevins for the first time in the match. But those young players are not used to having to juggle a full-time job or a part-time job and a career. But if you look at 2 examples of that, of people who have juggled the 2 of them and done well, Darren Webster and Mark Webster.
Yes, very much so.
Mark Webster always said that he played better darts when he was plumbing a couple of days a week. He saw the plumbing as a way of taking his mind off all the pressure and the rankings and form and things like that. And maybe his namesake Darren is exactly the same.
It could well be. I've noticed the difference with Darren when he said to me, I'm going to go 100% into the darts now. And to be fair, his form dipped and quite severely, and he couldn't understand why. And I did actually say to him, I believe it's because you've gone 100% darts. And I think you're a better player when you're working. And whether it's the case or not, I don't know. It's just something that I believe I've seen.
Well, Pipe had a trade of his own when he joined the pro ranks. He was a tree surgeon, and a very good one at that. But he is
trees needed surgeons.
It's proven to be a bit of a thorn in the side of Webster at the start of this match. I should have a word with Justin. Actually, I need my trees clipped.
137.
We all know that Darren is a fairly quick player, but does he seem to be even quicker?
I think he's playing quick today. And if there's one person you don't really want to do that against, it's Justin. Double four. Third dart in hand again. He's asked the question. And this time, he hasn't got the answer. So Webster, like you say, Murphy's playing a little bit quicker. Single 20 for tops. In a flash.
30.
Just over the bar.
Just you require 4.
Now, if you're Justin Pipe, you've got to like double two, the way his darts sit. He's not going to block it.
That's a great guide for Justin. Overpitched. The whole of double one to aim at, and finds it lovely.
You can tell from Justin's face, he is one of those players who doesn't want to feed his opponent with the way he behaves. You can tell he's talking to himself, but he's talking as he looks at the board. His opponent can't see that. He's staying in a focused mindset this week. He's not been speaking to a lot of people when he's been in the practice room. He's had his earplugs in, staying in his own zone. There's evidence of that quickened pace from Darren Webster that Merv was talking about. No aim, just throwing.
Yes, it does seem a bit quicker than he normally is. I mean, he's a quick player anyway, but that just seems to me even quicker than normal. I mean, as far as not showing any emotion to your opponent, I'm rather susceptible to that myself, of chastising myself on the way to the board, but poker face on the way back so they can't see it.
40.
Don't give anything to feed off.
Wasn't that a beautiful camera angle to show a 180 of Justin Pipe? Because it shows just how front heavy his darts are. Well, every time we go to this camera angle, he hits a 60.
Commentator's curse, Paul.
Absolutely. See that long point and that slightly different flight. How's that stayed in? It's got that slightly different flight these days with a little bit more wing on it. It's definitely working. His Pro Tour form has been rather poor. He has a lot in his mind though, but his Euro Tour form has been very good so far. And that's a 60 to leave himself 101. If he gets it, will he go for the bull? That answers that question.
Certainly does. But in my mind, why would he go for 51 if he wasn't going to go for the bullseye?
Well, he did at the end.
Yes.
Just didn't get in the leg yet.
I believe Darren just seems to be throwing too quick.
No, he's not focused today by the looks of it, Darren. Looks like he's clutching at straws a little bit. Hasn't really found a formula this afternoon yet.
Maybe a tad frustrated with the speed of the game from Justin. See, and with that overly quick throw, he hasn't even set it up.
Now, is that a good bust? Because he's left himself 17. He's hit a 20 going for the 1. All of a sudden, he's got to go back to double 17. Does he split for double 16, or does he go straight for it again? Because now he's under pressure. He wasn't the last time.
I believe he's looking at double 17. He is, and gets it. And that was a great setup from Darren there as well. 137 to leave tops, just in case things went awry from Justin.
I think that shows a little bit of courage in his conviction, because the player that I am, and the player that a lot of other people are, a lot of people would have said, well, double 17 wasn't good last time around. Maybe I'll split it this time. But he had a game plan and he stuck to it and he didn't hesitate. As a result, he's already halfway to the next round, where I said he would play either Rob Cross or Johnny Clayton. I'm not sure if you caught Rob Cross's performance with Steve Beaton last night, but he looked very, very good.
He normally does.
But he's a different animal this year, isn't he, Rob Cross?
Definitely. I believe it's because he's got that monkey off his back. He's no longer world champion, and now he can practice the amount he wants to practice without having to do all the
100.
interviews and stuff that goes along with being world champion. He's free to go back to what made Rob Cross.
That last 180 from Justin Pipe was like a Vincent van Gogh of 180s. I don't think there were many microns in between those points.
All 3 points touching and probably fit inside a polo mint without breaking it. I'm going to have a word with Justin. He seems to be wearing my crown.
140.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. You've got another guy coming over from Australia. He lands in the UK tomorrow. You've got to have a word with him as well, haven't you? King Cadby.
50.
Is that what he is? Okay.
Justin will definitely go for 18 here. He is a 16s man, very much like my colleague Mervyn King.
Mine seems to be changing to tops more.
Oh, you heard it here first on PDZ TV.
On the fourth leg,
But
Justin
Pipe
Pipe.
ain't changing his mind right now. He's 4-0 up on Webster.
Game
And the Demolition Man is being demolished.
Justin does look very focused in what he's doing.
Now, this may be it's a difficult subject to talk about. Mervyn, I know you were very close to your father, and it must be very difficult to come back to playing professional darts with passion and drive when you've lost such a close relative.
100.
What's Justin going through right now?
Oh, it's different for everybody. Everybody handles grief differently. It knocked me for 6, and I lost the will to practice, the will to play. I didn't want to play. I didn't want to practice. I didn't want to compete at all for probably 2 or 3 months. And I just went through the motions. And obviously, we all know what happened, and I went down the rankings faster than a rat up a drain pipe. So it affected me badly. I was in a very dark place for a very long while. Other people handle it differently. Gary Anderson, for such, took up the chin and played what I would call even better. Maybe he was challenging that in, this is for Dad, or you know, I can't honestly say what I think Justin's going through, even though it's we all know it's bad.
Yeah.
You know how he's handling it, I don't know. I haven't spoken to Justin yet.
He is just playing with such inspiration right now. It's got to be applauded.
140.
He's absolutely taking Darren Webster to school today, and he's been in so many good spots. And again, he's on a number that can give him a shot at double 16. And when he's constantly doing that, a bit like when Wade, he's constantly leaving tops and 10s. He's not going to get a shot at double 16. It's going to be 20 and tops. But the way his darts lie, he's not going to block it. For 5-0. 5-0 it is. Wonderful stuff. And at the start of this match, I really did feel this could have been a really methodical thinking man's game, with Webster possibly being drawn into a slow game, but anything but. That's steady stuff from Justin. There's some great legs in there. 3 of them you would say that Justin will be happy with, but the one thing he will be happy with is the scoreline, that's for sure.
No, definitely. I mean, if you'd have offered him to be 5-0 up on Darren Webster at the start of the game, he'd have snapped your arm off. Thank you very much. I mean, the first 9 for Pipe, 117 average. That's phenomenal.
That's going to trouble a lot of people in this field, including the likes of Cross and Van Gerwen, who are in opposite halves of the draw. So that is a possible final.
The checkouts as well aren't that shabby on 33%.
That's okay, isn't it, these days?
Yeah,
where are pros looking these days? They're looking at 60% to be.
I mean, top of your checkout status has got to be sort of 75, 80%. If you're around about the 60 mark, you're not doing a great deal wrong.
Listen to that crowd. They're engrossed in this game, and they're admiring the performance of JP.
I mean, 60, 65% means you're hitting more than you're missing.
Yes.
140.
And it only tells a little bit of the story as well, because we had earlier in the tournament Adam Hunt on an 86% checkout percentage for for 6 legs that he won. And the only one he missed, he hit the double the next start. So technically, he was perfect because he didn't give any opportunities to his opponent. So Darren will have 6 starts from 142. And he does leave tops to get himself out of bagel country.
Justin will be looking to set this up as low as he possibly can. That's a great start, first start in the treble. Can he get another one? This is looking prime for a 140.
140.
That's a great lead, 60 there, just in case.
Hasn't hit a double yet. Now he has. And there's one thing we know about Darren Webster is that he will never, ever stop trying. That told a story, did that little signal to the crowd. He's got 1. I wonder if he gets this leg, if he'll just say 2. And if he gets to the 30, he'll say 3. Well, how he play darts, he can't win
Don't
a
get ahead
match.
of yourself, Paul.
He can't win a match at the very start. All you got to do is win 1 leg at a time. I know it's a cliche,
45.
but you're not going to win legs like this starting with 45 when your opponent started with a 140. And going back to what I was saying about the potential opponent, Rob Cross or Johnny Clayton. We can't underestimate Johnny Clayton because of the way he's played this year, but Rob Cross is so relaxed in that practice room. What did we say about him? He's mad as a box of frogs.
Oh, definitely. The guy's unbelievable. I've never met anyone quite like him.
Yeah, he's definitely one of a kind. Loads of smiles on his face, really relaxed. And he's going to be, for the want of a better phrase, he's going to be a force in this tournament. And surely it's got to be a 180.
140.
I'm more shocked that it's not. But what a great leg from Justin Pipe to set up a potential victory against Darren Webster.
100.
And with the darts as well, I mean, that's really put Darren under the cosh.
Not looking at the 20s or the bull. Way in front. Not going to leave double 16 on this occasion, so looking to leave double 4.
42.
He looks disappointed with that. But he's got no need to be, really, because he's going to be on double 16 in a few seconds' time.
100. Just you require 48.
Darren has left an outside chance on the if Justin misses this double 16, but he's been quite clinical on it so far.
And that's the guide of all guides to get the job done.
Oh, wrong side.
16.
Now, big arse. Big
161.
arse, 161. Needed the treble first. Finds it second dart. Can only set up, which he's done. 137 to leave 24.
Just you require 32.
Judging by the body language of Darren Webster, he thinks this is all over, and I think I agree with him. And it is indeed all over. Justin Pipe makes the quarterfinals of the European Darts Open, where he will play Rob Cross or Johnny Clayton. Stick around for that one. But an inspired JP. We haven't seen a lot of this type of form from him in the last few seasons, maybe in fits and starts, but that is a heartwarming sight. Everybody's sending their love to Pipe and his family over the next few days, but right now it's about whether he can inspire himself to potentially pick up what would be his second European Tour crown.
Und gratulieren Justin Pipe zum Einzug ins Viertelfinale. Justin, I mean, obviously Darren was struggling a bit, but a very, very solid performance from you.
Yeah.
We don't have to, Justin. Leverkusen. The force, Justin Pipe. Leverkusen, the force, Justin Pipe.